What's going on, guys? My name is iMissTooMuch, and today we are doing a Stardew Valley Let's Play. I want to go ahead and preface this by saying I'm going to do this a little bit differently than most Let's Plays. One of the things about Stardew Valley is that it is a very long game, and there's a lot of time periods where there's really nothing you can do. So instead of just recording me playing the 40 hours it takes to get to the end goal of the game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take as much of that as possible out so that really by the end of it you only get really what's important. And so there's going to be a little bit of gaps of time where it might jump a couple days or something. That's really just me editing out a rainy day where I just go sit in a mine all day. So the other thing I have is a sheet that tells me everything I need for each season. I just wrote it down for spring, and what I'm going to do is use this so that I'm getting the I don't really want to spoil it, but there are things I need to accomplish to really beat the game, and we won't learn about that for another couple hours. But I'm going to try to get as much of that done as early as possible and hopefully prepare for the next season so that in about a year and a half through the game, I can be pretty well done with that main part of the game. And then from then on, probably going to just do whatever. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and make all this stuff really quick. And we'll be back on the farm. Alright, so here we are on the farm. We're going to go ahead and open this. We're going to have 15 parsnip seeds, which is going to be a nice start to our farm. And typically, I did the normals standard farm because it's what I'm used to, and I just really enjoy it. But let's see what this says. These are our journal things. So it wants us to make a parsnip, go ahead and meet everybody, which I already did through the cutscene that I skipped because it's doesn't really add much. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to designate this front area right here as the main garden, because really it's going to be the easiest way to do it, the way I think about it, because I can come out here and water our crops, and until we get things like sprinklers, this is going to be taking up a lot of time. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this brush, and I will start planting some crops. It seems that right now we have most of the brush that we're going to need cleared right now cleared, so we're going to go ahead and start tilling some soil. I like to till them in rows of 6 because the watering can upgrade, the very first one, will water them 3 ahead. And what this will do is it makes it really easy for us because we'll be able to cut this stump away and we'll be able to water 3, 3, 3, all the way down the line, and then come back and water 3, 3, 3 down the line. And that's going to make watering a lot easier. I mean, of course, I could do 5 or something for the maximum upgrade, but it's going to be a long time before we get to that point in the game. And I just kind of messed that up, so I'm going to go ahead and buy probably 3 more parsnip seeds just to go ahead and give us an even 18 and keep those spots from turning back into regular dirt. Alright, so I went ahead and planted our seeds and watered them, and I also cut down a couple trees to make a chest. The reason for this is just honestly, our inventory is extremely small, holding about, I think, 12 items, is it? And so things get kind of cluttered here easily. And the rest of the day, I'm going to spend foraging and maybe buying some more crops. I'm not 100% sure yet. Hopefully, we'll have just enough to start farming some other crops and start making a little bit more money. So unfortunately we weren't able to get to the shop in time, so that means we really couldn't buy any more crops. I was actually hoping to buy some potatoes, but shop was closed, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. I put everything that I foraged into the shipping box, and we're gonna go ahead and call this day 1. Alright, so now that we're on our day 2, our main goal is just going to be getting some more crops planted, and maybe checking a couple things out, meeting a couple people just to get the achievements and stuff done really quick. Or not really achievements, journal goals. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. Alright, so we grabbed some more potato seeds, and we're going to go ahead and plant these. The reason why I'm picking potatoes right now, even though I kind of need a lot of different crops for some of the things that are going to be coming up. I'm picking potatoes right now because our main focus is honestly just getting money, and potatoes are the second best item in the spring that gives you money, except for I think strawberries. But the thing is we cannot get strawberries this year. We'll have to wait until next year because they come like halfway through this season. So we're gonna go ahead and hold off on that and buy some strawberries when we get the chance and just settle for the second best thing. So got that taken care of. I think I'm gonna go around and meet some people and try to get some more money started. Alright, unfortunately I didn't find that many things to pick, so I just went ahead and cleared off this little area so we can get to this little exit right here, which is gonna save us a lot of time when we go to do things later. I always like to try to clear this out as soon as possible because it gives us two really easy exits from the farm. Eventually we're gonna look at the third south exit, but that's going to be a little bit of time and it's going to take a lot of work because it's really far away from our house. So we're going to go ahead and call this day 2 and we'll see what's up with day 3. Alright, so we just got a nice fishing pole from Willie. That's going to let us catch some fish now and hopefully make a little bit more money. Normally I would do it today because it's raining, but I really want to work on the farm. Alright, so day 3, we got a nice fishing pole from Willie when we visited him over at the dock. And normally I would just spend the day kind of fishing and making sure we get a little bit more money, but I went ahead and decided just to kind of work on the farm. The main thing I did was just make a little stone path from one exit to the other, and I'm going to start making this area right here kind of our, like, not like manufacturing, but just kind of like where we're going to start putting some things like preserve jars, milk and cheese things, some chests, you know, furnaces, all that. I'm going to try to keep that in like this general area over here so we can kind of focus this area more on farming and not take up as much space. So I guess we're going to go ahead and call this day 3 and let's see what day 4 has in for us. Alright, for today we got a little bit done. I just spent most of the day kind of finishing up this little rock path. I started clearing out the rocks south of us to start hopefully building a nice little path to that exit. That's why this is right here going down a little bit, because this is where I want to eventually put that path to that road at right here. So hopefully we can finish that up over the next couple weeks. I'm not really worried about connecting this path just yet because it's still early on, but eventually we're going to want to do that. So I just made sure that I kind of marked it off to make sure I remember that I want to do it here. I thought about doing it based off like the front of my house, but it's just easier because everything kind of connects right here. And so we're going to go ahead and move on to day 5. Hopefully there's a little bit more we can do. I bought some more potatoes, but I only had like enough for 5. So I just decided to go ahead and plant 6 and then keep the 5 for the next day because it would just mess up my rows and I don't really like that. So let's see what day 5 has in store. Alright, so it looks like our parsnips are ready to be harvested. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that really quick. And maybe buy some more crops to plant over here. It looks like one didn't grow right for some reason. It's kind of weird, but it's whatever. We got it. We're gonna go ahead and at least buy one more seed so we can finish this row of potatoes. Actually, we could plant this row right here. Now that I think about it, make this potatoes over here, start maybe pushing out over here if we have enough money. I don't think we will, but there's always a chance. I forget how much parsnips go on sale for. But today I want to take care of that, see if there's anything else we can really do around town at this point, and maybe start putting some chests up here just to kind of give us a little head start on organization. Alright, so we just discovered the community center. Previously it was locked, but the mayor went ahead and let us in, and this is going to really be an important part for this entire game. Right now we have these little kind of tablets on the floor that have a bunch of glyphs and we can't read them, but eventually, hopefully, we'll be able to. But this is going to be basically the end goal of the game, is to complete all this. But right now we really can't do much because we just found it, and we'll have to do a little bit more here later. Alright, so we just met Marlon, and he gave us a nice rusty sword, and this is going to be a place where we're going to be spending quite a bit of time. Right now, it's basically a mine, and unfortunately I don't have a pickaxe or the energy really to explore it, so we're going to have to leave this for another day, but we're going to be spending quite a bit of time in here because there's a lot of stuff in the mine that we need. So it's the end of day 5, and I just kind of want to go over a couple things I did. First of all, I built some chests up here just to kind of organize things better. I mean, really, we have enough room in one chest that I could technically fit everything I really need for a while in there. But I wanted to go ahead and start splitting everything up and organizing it, just so that later on when we start dealing with a lot more items, we'll actually be able to handle it instead of trying to go around and organize everything backwards. So this up here is where I'm going to keep like most of my tools and kind of like farming stuff. Probably keep some seeds in here too, just so I can make some field snacks if I ever need to. But I just kind of want to keep everything that I'm going to need, like if I'm going out or I need to do something around here, I want to keep it right here. Up here we got 3 chests. This first one's going to be a materials chest where I'm just going to keep things like clay, fiber, wood, stuff like that. That is more like naturally grown and things that we're going to need to build things later on. This chest right here really doesn't have that much of a use right now, and it'll probably be kind of redundant once things start moving along, but it's really just a placeholder for things that I'm going to need later on. I need to start collecting certain items, and I'm going to put them in here until I can actually put them where they're supposed to go, because we don't have it technically unlocked yet, which is going to be hopefully in the next episode or 2. And this final one's just going to be a mining chest. I'm going to keep things like geodes, coal, stuff like that in here, just to kind of keep it in one place, and so when I start smelting things and crafting things, I can kind of have everything here in one piece. And so that's really all we did. I also just threw a couple things over here because I'm going to start. I threw a parsnip and green bean plant back here because I'm going to need them here shortly, and I want to go ahead and get a kickstart on that. And this is going to be kind of our special row where we grow things that we aren't really selling but are using them for other things. We also discovered the community center today, which is huge because it's like the main part of the game, and we also discovered the mine and got ourselves a sword, which is going to be something that is going to play a major role in our gameplay here shortly. But I'm going to go ahead and call this the end of the episode. I feel like that we achieved enough for me to really consider this like a first episode. It's only day 5 of the first season, but I want to go ahead and cut it here because I want to aim for about an episode every game week. So like 1 through 7's an episode, like 7 through 14's an episode, but I really don't want to follow like that rigid boundaries, because sometimes like you need more or less time. Like there's like a lot of stuff that happens I want to throw it in one episode that's smaller, and if there's a lot of like not really that much that happens, I can make a lot of cuts and kind of consolidate maybe like 1 or 2 weeks into like one episode. So like I want you guys' feedback. I think that what I have here is going to be pretty good. I think that my like pacing and stuff is going to be good. But if you guys have any like suggestions of like how you want to see things done, like do you want to see me do more things, or do you want to see me just kind of see the highlights, let me know. And also, if you want to see anything done in this game, go ahead and let me know. I'm open to suggestions. I don't really want to like start messing with mods or changing up too much just yet, but hopefully later on I'll be able to start exploring things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and call this episode 1. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more of this series, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to try to get them out like I'm trying to get like 2 or 3 out a week, which should be manageable. But thank you guys for watching, and peace out.